Okay, so there's a fly in here. So I was in Western Kansas filming Harvest. Here it is. Get it. Close.
Oh.
So I was in Western Kansas filming Harvest, and there'd been a big rain. And so you went out into the field, and there was just awful swarms of flies. I'll show, or we can post a video from my time in Western Kansas. It was like maybe 20 or 30 on one leg.
Hard no.
Yeah. And so I was chatting with one of the other guys out there who was with me, Kale. And I was like, so Kale, like, is this a normal amount of flies out here? He's like, well, it can be pretty bad. And as we're talking, a farmer drives by in a pickup, and I literally see him pull up a fly swatter in his cab and hit the dash with it. I was like, yep, it's normal.
That's funny.
So that's our cold open.
That's funny. Welcome to Ask A Kansan. Thanks for joining us today. We have another great episode. If you like beer, community, and nerdiness, a little bit of nerd.
We'll say that should pretty much incorporate everybody.
Yeah. So we had a chance to interview Ryan Fairchild from the Great Bend area. He was introduced to us by a former interviewee, Adrian Zink. So they both grew up in Larned, Kansas, but he now lives in Great Bend. So without any further ado, is that how that's without any further ado?
It's the afternoon. It's hard, folks. Give us some slack.
Here he is.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Nice
welcome.
I'm Gus.
Sorry, to start our timer,
Oh,
so
you're
we
fine.
forgot. I'm Sydney. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming all the way.
Thanks for letting me in.
No problem.
I like your shirt. I often wear a logoed shirt for us.
I have many copies of this shirt with different organizations I'm a part of. I don't know why it's this the gray.
You just like the
put your name here,
yeah.
put the logo here.
Yeah.
Call
So
it a
Dry
day.
Lake Brewing, is that your business?
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
one of my businesses. I think I'm just attached to mechanical, and so I like the mechanic look.
Yeah,
That's
I like
fine.
it too. It's really cool. It looks great.
Well, for our audience, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ryan Fairchild. I'm from originally from Larned, Kansas. I think I'm your second guest from Larned.
Yeah.
So won't read into that too much. But I'm currently a Barton County resident, and I feel like I'm from Barton County now. I've lived there longer than I did in Pawnee County, and just really excited about activating people and everybody having a good time. That's kind of my big piece. A big thing I kind of lean towards is everybody always says somebody should do something.
Yeah.
And when you say that to me, it's you're calling yourself a nobody.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's like, well, are you somebody? Okay, well then let's do something.
Nice.
I just kind of get tired of the whole like, well, somebody should do something. I'm going to go over here. And it's like we should all be empowered to, everything's just ran by people.
Yeah.
And that's the big piece. So I'm an IT guy for Innovative Livestock Services. Okay. I always joke around that pays the bills. I play with beer and people in the evenings and weekends. And so I'm kind of the front of house guy. Was a home brewer, and we were approached about why haven't you guys opened a brewery? And we said, well, it sounds expensive. And I said, well, what if we could help you figure that part out, help you find some investors? And we said, well, I guess we'd open a brewery. And that's kind of where it ended up. I've been an IT nerd forever. Like I said, I really like mechanical things. I'm a big finding out how things work kind of guy and liking to know how to steer those ships. So oddly enough, I started out music, put me through college and played in bands. And then I also ended up doing video editing and videography through college to help pay for everything.
I feel like you and Merlin, our engineer, are the same person.
It's true.
Because he has a music background. Was in IT for the majority of his career.
Okay,
Like
I don't know about the brewing thing.
brewing thing, I'm not sure
Hey,
of.
you can always pick
But-
it up. I run a charity organization, not officially a 501, but all of our money we bring in goes to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Awesome.
It's called Bike Brew Q. We just celebrated 10 years. We moved to downtown, had the Big Bend Bash down in Great Bend, and just had a good time.
What? Why cystic fibrosis?
So my wife has cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
Her brother
Oh my god.
has cystic fibrosis, and then I have a cousin who has cystic fibrosis. Her brother and my cousin are not the same person. But it's just been something I've been around forever. I remember my wife and I kind of started dating. She finally came to me and she goes, "Hey, I got something I need to tell you." And I was like, "Oh, what'd I screw up?" And she goes, "Well, I have cystic fibrosis." And I said, "Oh, that's cool. What do you want for dinner?" I think she was kind of thrown back like, "Oh, I don't have to explain what this is and everything." And so that's kind of been something that's been near and dear to my heart. We're just shy of the $10,000 mark right now for this year for our event. And we'll have a pumpkin smash here in the fall.
Oh heck yeah.
And just having a good time. That's what I mean. It's all about having a good time. So the whole Bike Brew Q thing started with, we're out on a bike ride with the local bike shop.
Mm-hmm.
And the previous owner had kind of had some events, and he took those events with him. And we decided we really need another event for Barton County. So we got to talking about, well, what would that event look like? What do we like? And a big piece was, well, we all like beer. So we should probably incorporate beer. And it's like, well, if we're drinking a lot of beer, we should probably eat something. And it's like, well, we like barbecue. And so then it was like, well, hey, the acronym really flies together. Bike Brew Q. It's BBQ.
Yeah.
And so that's the full tenets of the
There
event.
you go.
And we really push it as, it's Bike Brew Q in support of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And so the way we kind of present it to everybody is, first and foremost, it's about, let's just have a good time in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, by the way, this good time, it's also supporting a worthwhile cause.
Wow.
And so we're hoping, we had some mix up of our plans with 2020 and everything. We still had an event. We gave people free beer, let them ride some bikes, and we had a barbecue truck. And we kept everybody apart from each other.
Yeah.
We still had it. So our goal ultimately is to hit that $100,000 mark over cumulative over
amazing.
all that. So
Yeah.
it's been a good time.
So Dry Lake, that's your business, your
Yeah.
brewing company?
Yeah.
Okay.
So myself and Kevin Berkey started that up with one really rambunctious investor who was our initial guy who never met us before and said, "Hey, why the heck haven't you guys done this?" And that was shocking. I always put out there that I am a lucky individual. I've had a lot of luck in my life. Right place, right time should be tattooed across my back. But we got together. He was a home brewer. We'd known each other from college, and he was a year older than me, so he had moved away. And we completely lost track of each other. We kind of just knew each other from kind of similar friend groups and everything. And I happened to start a homebrew club in Barton County. And then he comes walking through the door one day, and I haven't seen you in forever. What the heck are you doing here? It almost been a decade. Actually, probably had been a decade. And he goes, "Oh yeah, we moved back up here." Him and his wife. Couldn't find out he married Kelsey Berkey there from Hoisington, and they had a couple kids, everything, and they were back in the area. And we just kind of got talking, and next thing you knew, we were egging each other on. Like, well, what if we got a bigger brew kit? What if we got this? What if we did that? Next thing you knew, we had the biggest brewery in the county in his garage in Hoisington. And it was like, this might be getting a little out of hand. And it was, you get to that point where it's, do people like our beer, or do they like that it's free because we can't legally sell it, and we also need to get rid of it so we can brew some more? He had built a kegerator, several taps on it. We didn't exactly list alcohol content on anything because, didn't have to.
Yeah.
And so we'd have friends over, and next thing you know, they'd start slurring their words. It's like, which tap did you drink? Like, I've only had 4 beers. It's like, yeah, but which tap? It's like, oh yeah, that's 11.5%. Like, maybe slow it down. But it was something we bonded over for quite a while, and we brewed together for, gosh, I think it was only 2 years before this opportunity came up, and we went walking around after that meeting downtown and went, man, I'd really like to keep the brewery downtown.
And this is in
Great Bend.
Great
Yeah.
Bend.
And the big piece was the downtown. And this isn't an insult to Great Bend, it isn't an insult to the business that were trying their darndest to stay going. It was just kind of dead. A lot of rural downtowns are that way. And, you go cruising around on a Saturday night, and the bar down the street was the only thing that had
Cars in front of it.
has cars in front of it, anything going on. The shops were all closed up and everything. And so a big piece was, hey, we want to do this downtown. We want to, push the community a little bit. And so we got to looking around, and we just could not find a space that, showed that it was available, that was big enough for what we were thinking about. And so in my brain, I kind of went back to, well, maybe we can do a smaller tap room, Sandhills and Hutch. They started off with their smaller deal. Look at them now. They're huge. It's
huge.
fantastic. Same thing with Salt City. Something about Hutch and starting and then
Starting
building
small
out.
and going out.
And there's plenty of breweries I've been to. I've been to breweries in LA and stuff that are that way. And then next thing we knew, Brown Shoe Fit actually closed down their doors, put the paper up in the windows. And we're going, wow, that building's got some decent space. And so we got a hold of our local chamber. They were able to let us into the building because Browns had actually given them a key.
Oh, wow.
To like, hey, if you can shop it around, get the building moved. And we ended up talking over time, and I should say mainly it was Kevin. Kevin talked with them. I was still, running my day job and everything, and he got talking with them and came to an agreement, and we purchased the building. And we found out it's a 7,000 square foot building.
Oh,
it was 7,000 square feet of shoes.
That's a lot of shoes.
That's a big walk-in closet. And
there's nothing as a fellow small business owner like buying a building that feels like you fully committed to something.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And we knew we got a good price on it. Needed a roof. We put a roof on it immediately, and then we got to just planning, and it was hilarious. There were things that we were apart on, but then there were so many key things that it was like, oh wow, we both agree we want this. Oddball thing, the main centerpiece of our tap room is our cooler is wrapped in a shipping container.
Oh, cool.
And that was something we both just like, yeah, that's what we want. And so that was one of the first things we agreed on and wrote down on a piece of a napkin and went away on it. And we got to the point where we were tearing out walls, tearing out ceiling, everything else. And then turned around and like, okay, we've got our bay lined up. We've got our plans. We're going to start construction. Let's be open July 2021. This was August of 2019 is when we purchased the building and then went through and we're digging everything out. So we had everybody lined up, all of our contractors. We go, okay, we're going to pull the rug and let's go. COVID hits the next week. And my partner, Kevin there, he had quit his day job. He was going to GC the project. And I just remember the phone call. He goes, well, I guess I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad for a little bit and see what happens. And so we kind of reorganized everything. We knew we had a mortgage to pay and everything else, insurance. And so we went through and talked to the contractors, and happily married together was the fact that they were getting busy as all get out because everybody's businesses were shut down. So they went, great, I can do all the remodeling I've been wanting to do. And so when we told them, hey, could you instruct us and we'll do a lot of the work ourselves, and then you can come in and do the finish work and any of the stuff that we cannot do technically or legally. And so they were coming in and going, put your chalk marks here and then cut the floor out. Okay. So we learned how to run concrete saws. So we were in there evenings and weekends doing that. We always took off a good portion of Sunday just to spend time with family, so we didn't completely cut ourselves off. But we were in there just hitting the floor with sledgehammers and everything else, trying to break everything up. And then we moved to a jackhammer. Well, we moved to, bigger saws. And then, it's a rain day. And now we get to actually borrow these guys from Nelson Stone there. And he's like, well, I'm paying people for a rain day anyway. Why don't I send them down your way and they can help you with our equipment, get stuff broken out. And it was just crazy because, the front of the building, digging for plumbing, it's like, oh, we're digging a foot down. Get to the back of the building, it's like, well, we're going to need that over 6 feet down.
Oh my
And we're going to need
gosh.
all this. And so having somebody come in with a little mini X when they could and take care of that certainly was appreciated.
Is that where like the sunken part of the brewery goes?
So we actually didn't sink ours at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Ours is actually it's ironic. We were just up here. We did a brewery field trip. We took all of our staff and
Oh, yeah.
hit a couple breweries, and our first one was up here in Salina.
This guy.
And so we were sitting there staring at that, going, "Oh man, how are you getting your grain out and everything?" And we're like, "Man, there's an auger system." It's like, "Nope, just 2 hands and
Yeah.
get it out of here." And it's like, "Oh man, that sucks." And so that makes us, look at the grain out for us is way easier. We pull in a pallet jack with a big container on it, and
Makes sense.
still have to hand dump a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
and I say we, it's Kevin. Kevin's in there every day doing. I'm over either in a feedlot sweating my butt off, hanging cameras or working on computers, or I'm in a air conditioned office tapping on a keyboard while he's in there doing that. He loves it though, so it's a good thing.
It's amazing. What other organizations are you involved
I
with?
always forget something, but I'm the vice chair of economic development over there for Great
wow.
Bend.
Wow.
And then I'm the vice chair of our Main Street organization, Great Bend Alive.
Nice.
And so we're actually going through a little bit of flux right now. We've had a fantastic leader in the position there at economic development, Sarah Arnberger, and she has been an absolute rock star and everything. The amount of things she's done in her 5 years there are just amazing. But she's got 2 little kids, and that's a job that it's not I'm going to clock out at 5 and go home. It's a all encompassing job. And she's taken some time back to hang out with her kids and
So you're looking for a
work
new
regular.
director?
We are looking for a new director. If anybody
Yeah.
likes economic development, so we're looking for that new director, and we've got a lot of. I wish I could talk about the projects that we've got in the pipe, and that's another piece too. Is I feel like there needs to be an education arm for the general public for economic development.
Yep.
It's a big piece of, everybody, I feel like everybody wants to do hey, I'm going to call up Qdoba and I'm going to offer them this piece of land and then I'm going to get tacos in 3 months. Like, that's what I feel like the general public's like, it's not that hard. Let's just offer them some free land and we'll call them up and Qdoba corporate's going to go, yeah, we're on it. I think the understanding of franchisees, can't say that word right now. Franchisees, there you go.
There you go.
All that, and just well, now this is going to be this, so now it needs different drainage, and just all of that work is it's all the behind the scenes stuff. It's seeing how the donuts are made, not enjoying the donuts.
Yeah.
And so the idea that getting one business in takes 3 years. This is kind of lost on people, and understandably they get frustrated because they're not lit in on it, but that's just the nature of business.
That's what's great about local businesses.
Yeah.
That, like, I love franchises. We need them because
absolutely.
But local businesses like yours
Absolutely.
brings more dollars into our local economies.
Exactly.
awesome.
And then anytime you look at the pull factor on these things, like anytime you raise a sales tax somewhere and everybody's like, oh my gosh, and sales tax going up. And it's like, well, pay attention to which sales tax is going up. It's, we're the hub for a grocery. We're getting a lot of money coming in from people from out of town coming and shopping here. And so that's a big plus, 1 penny is a lot, a fraction of a penny. It's like, oh, well, why are we doing this? Like, well, we've got 40,000 other people coming in to buy their groceries every month. And it's like, we should probably harness some of that money.
So when did you guys actually open Dry Lake then?
So we actually ended up opening May of 2022.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so we just celebrated our 4-year here.
Congrats.
And so, yeah, thank you. We do it. It was not planned this way. It was just kind of like, hey, we need to open and we're going to rip this Band-Aid and go. And so we ended up opening the first Saturday of May. And it was like, oh, yeah, Cinco de Mayo. Whoops. we have a big Cinco de Mayo get together in downtown Great Bend every year. And so ironically, we're usually, tagging into that evening of all the Cinco de Mayo festivities with our, we usually throw a concert out back and kind of open the back parking lot to consumption and everything and just have a good time. So
That's cool. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Ask A Kansan is sponsored by Cohort Digital, your partner in media strategy and advertising placement. From social media, search, and streaming video to billboards, magazines, and broadcast TV, the experts at Cohort can help you navigate the ever-changing advertising landscape. With more than 75 years of combined experience, they'll build a custom media campaign to get your message seen in all the right places by your target audience. Learn more at cohort.digital. So, Cindy, we've used Cohort for several different projects for Feely, and it's been very successful and really pleased with the information.
Yep.
Lisa does a great job.
Yeah, both Feely and Ask A Kansan, we've used both. Basically, we give them the creative, and they really hone in on getting it seen by people. And the best part is you get the results in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got an email from Alyssa and her team yesterday, and it was like, hey, this is what's performing. This is what's not performing. These are the changes we suggest. And like, it's really like they take the work out of the data piece that some people don't really get. And it's great.
And I love, there's a lot of organizations in this space doing this kind of work that are just kind of checking a box.
Yep.
But that's not Cohort. They're always bringing their creativity to the task and surprising us in the ways that they find opportunity for our marketing dollars online.
Yep. So make sure to go to their website, cohort.digital. There's no .com. It's just cohort.digital, and learn more.
So one of the things that you're talking about doing IT work and brewing, are there any interesting relationships or things you find similar between IT work and brewing? That's a weird question. I like to ask weird questions.
One big one is that nothing really happens on a schedule. It would be convenient if everything broke on a schedule, but it never does. Mm-hmm. And so one of our banes of our existence is ice machines. That's always been fun. I've become somewhat versed on ice machines. I rebuilt a crowler machine the other day just because, wanted to sell some crowlers and it happened to be down. Really, it's, working on whatever comes your way. I thought it was really funny when we went and did our first little piece on the brew set. We bought our brew set out of Lincoln, Abe. And when we were in there and they heard I was an IT guy, they're like, oh, so you want the automation package, don't you? I said, no, I'm an IT guy. I don't want the automation package. The worst thing, all I could imagine is being in the middle of a brew day and it popping up and going, hey, we have an update.
Yeah.
Let's do this update. Let's not worry about the beer in the tanks that you're trying to make. Let's do this update right now. Or, having a digital knob on something. And it's like, well, I need to turn that, but there's no physical knob for me to use. And so it was like, no, I think we Stone Age, please. Let's go back to that. And that's not to say we don't have there's PID controllers and everything to control temperature. We're an all electric brewery. We didn't want to have to deal with natural gas or a boiler. My parents and most of my family have worked in the school district over in Larned, and so I've heard horror stories about boilers my entire life. And so when I hear the word boiler, I feel like the back of my brain just kind of twitches a little.
What got you to Great Bend from Larned?
So my father.
Okay.
So I was playing in bands and punk bands up in Hayes.
What instrument?
Bass.
I'm a bass player.
He's a bass
I
player.
knew he had good energy.
It's a beard thing. And
mine's growing in a little bit.
Merlin back there, also bass player. So
yeah.
You have a lot in common with Merlin.
He doesn't have a beard though. He's bald.
Yeah. Well, that makes me wonder too if he knows Steve Luth. Probably does.
I know
Maybe.
Steve.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
well.
Steve was my teacher over at Barton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Steve
There's
and
that
then
6 degrees of separation.
one of his classmates was my teacher in Larned.
Oh, wow.
Rick Ives. But I'm trying to track
I'm
back
so
where we're at.
Sorry.
No, fine.
We just went-
that's
Larned
what
to
my-
Barned.
Oh,
Yeah.
Larned to
Third.
Barton, yeah. So my brain, I was going, well, my band's going to make it. You know, we've recorded an album, band's going to make it. So I just need to bide my time until that happens. And so I was going to move to Hayes because that's where my band was at. And I just remember my dad, he always had really great ways. And I say always had, he still has great pieces of wisdom for us. And one of them was, I remember having to carry around a card in my wallet when I was kind of a troublemaker. And it was, when you step out of this house, you represent this family.
Yep.
And that was, he's like, if you're ever thinking about doing something dumb, pull this out of your pocket and look at it first. And so that was a big one. Another thing was, he goes, no, if you want any help from us at all, you're going to Barton, not Hayes. Because he knew apple pie didn't fall too far from the tree. He knew that if I went up to Hayes, I was probably going to end up partying all the time. Really wasn't going to do any schoolwork. Not to say that I didn't do a lot of partying things in my college days in Great Bend, but he knew that probably wasn't the best environment for me. And at the time, I was upset about it and everything. But looking back, it was like, oh, that was the best decision ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was actually planning on moving to Castle Rock, Colorado after I'd done at Barton. I wanted to open a music store.
Oh, cool.
And so
Okay.
over at Castle Rock, they have a 1 calendar year music instrument repair program.
Wow.
You go in, you can't hold another job. I believe it still exists. And you're going to work on instruments. You're going to work for us, essentially. You're going to learn all these things. And then once we're done with you, go be prosperous.
Sounds like a great year.
Yeah. I was like, man, that sounds awesome. In Colorado, I got, this is great. And did not plan on it, but I met my wife. And she was going through her gen eds and then was planning on being a nurse. And she is very family connected, very much about family. Not to say that my family doesn't like each other, but we're not a let's get together every weekend kind of group. We like our space. And when I talked to her later about like, well, yeah, I was thinking about, moving to Colorado. Maybe we can move to Colorado. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I was like, yeah, maybe that can wait. I kind of like her and, she puts up with me. So maybe I should stick around. And so I actually found a job. At that time, I was working multiple jobs. I was doing the video editing for the college, doing some archive work. I was working at Dillon's, and then I was also working at the bowling alley. And
We've
there,
all had those jobs.
yeah, everybody has those jobs. I was working all three of them at the same time, just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to interview for a new position at CPI as Qualified Plan Consultants, and ended up reading the entire IRS 403B code and kind of learning that. And next thing I knew, I was like selling retirement plans to school districts and trying to figure out how to import all their payroll data. And it turned out that a lot of them were on like Lotus 123 and
my
stuff that
gosh.
you don't use anymore. And I'm in there and I'm doing that, and get to the point where I'm training people too, and not exactly a passion of mine, but it's paying the bills. And their IT guy, great guy, but every now and then he knew I was nerdy about stuff, and he'd come around and go, "Hey, I'm kind of facing this. What are you thinking?" And I went, "Well, I think maybe try this or do this, and let's take a look at it." And didn't really think anything of it because I've kind of always thought, computers are not going anywhere. Should probably know them. And didn't realize that most of my peers around me did not have that opinion of computers. It wasn't like, oh, I should know this. It's like, oh, somebody will know it. I don't need to worry about it. And so one day I just kind of was sitting there, and after working on something with him, and I went, I think he makes more money than I do. And that was literally my thought. Cause I think I was trying to get a new car or something. I was like, I think he makes more money than I do. And wife and I were just getting ready to get married. And so in the interim of these two events, had a car wreck, ended up in the hospital for 10 days, shattered a femur.
Oh my God.
It was a whole event. So I kind of feel like I might have got my IT job off a little bit of sympathy because I put in for the job at the corporate office just across town. And when I showed up for the job interview, finally, I came in a wheelchair. It was like, might get some brownie points off this. I don't know. I'm banged up. It's like, oh yeah, I'm still going to show up for this interview. I'm really committed. get in there, and it was the perfect nerdy interview. My future boss at the time, Chris, asked me about the Kobayashi Maru.
Yes.
All right. Someone's going to have to explain it to me.
It's a Star Trek reference.
Yes.
It's an impossible test
Yeah.
that you can't solve.
Yeah.
And it's all about how you react to it.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to bring up at a job interview.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
I wish
Okay.
people would do it more. And I think the problem is that how much you have to explain it to get the person there if they're not a Trekkie. And I'm equal operations. I Star Trek, Star Wars. Let's all love each
I'm
other.
Star
That's
Wars.
good.
She's Star Wars, I'm Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm both. I love them both. But the whole deal was got through that. Worked for them for a few years. While on the side, I was doing some side IT work under Fairchild Computers, and was on Twitter. Was posting, "Hey, here's the new issue. Here's how you fix it. Here's the new issue. Here's how you fix it." And I get messages all the time with, "Hey, I've got some work I need done," or "Hey, I need a website built." So, okay. Well, I get this message from somebody and it says, "Hey, I have an opportunity for you. Would you want to go to lunch?" And first off, being IT brain is like, no, stranger danger. Somebody's trying to steal my information or something. And
gosh, you and Merlin are two peas in a pod.
well, I noticed you have Ubiquity cameras everywhere, and I'm a big fanboy. But the big piece though was go ahead and meet him at a barbecue restaurant that was amazing. This guy comes walking in this Western wear shirt and this huge mustache, big coif of hair.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, that's an interesting character. You wouldn't listen in a crowd. And then he sits down in front of me. I'm like, oh, this is the guy I'm meeting. Okay. His name's Frank. And we kind of chit chat a little bit, and we order food, and we both ask for Tabasco, and we get it there, and we're both doing the exact same thing of mixing Tabasco and ketchup together for fries. And it's like, all right, that's a little weird. Well, then interview with him and everything, go through the whole process, end up finding out that he works for ILS. This is back in 2010.
Is ILS an acronym?
Yeah, Innovative Livestock Service.
Okay.
And so we've got several feed yards. We're one of the biggest producers in the U.S. now. We're in Kansas and Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
We've got several other entities as well as a farming operation. We've got a fuel company. We've got a sprinkler company. We got all sorts of things.
Okay.
And so, yeah, one thing I really like about my job is that I'm hardly ever doing the exact same thing every day.
Yeah.
I'm out and about. I'm here, there, everywhere. But we get to our first week, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be here Friday." I said, "Oh, okay, well, that's fine." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to the Flogging Molly concert in Kansas City." And I said, "Where's my ticket?" And he just kind of looks at me and goes, "You know who Flogging Molly is?" I'm like, yeah. Like, that's like one of my favorite bands. And that's where we've hit it off. Like, we instantly knew, like, holy, we like the same music. We're both nerdy as heck. We're both in the cars. I had a 66 El Camino in high school, sold it during the gas crunch like an idiot, and bought a fuel efficient car, and then realized I was only moving 20 miles away. I was like, oh, that was a bad choice. I don't really regret anything in life. That I do regret. But we've just kind of fed off each other on cars and everything else. We like the same movies, same music, same sense of humor. It's been hilarious how much we share in common. But that's been a huge piece to it too. And that's something I feel like you get in a small town, is that when you work in an industry, there's a lot of times that you've had kind of some of the same experiences and everything. So you're kind of molded into the same spot where you can get along with a lot of people in your same industry. And that's something I kind of champion for the Midwest. It's like, come on, let's move back this way. It's cheaper to live. The pay point isn't usually that far off. It's not like you're like, oh gosh, I'm losing $100,000 a year to move back here. It's like, no, you're still going to live pretty well. And we just got to build up these smaller communities, or else we're not going to have anything.
This episode is sponsored by Renaissance Cafe. Serving Northern Italian cuisine prepared with a fresh, contemporary influence, the Renaissance Cafe is one of Kansas's favorite restaurants. Whether you're planning a romantic dinner date, a family celebration, or an intimate meal with friends, the Renaissance provides a unique dining experience with an old-world atmosphere. Open Thursday through Saturday evenings, the Renaissance Cafe is located just south of Salina in Assyria, Kansas. Visit renaissancecafeassyria.com to book your reservation today. So, as a fellow bass player, I don't know how musically inclined our audience is, but one of the roles of the bass player is to set the tonal foundation that the rest of music is built on, right? And I'm comparing
Keep
that
the drummer
to
in line.
Yeah.
Hey now. I was a percussionist.
There we go.
So I'm comparing that to, your role as a brewer, in which you are kind of, setting up a system and hoping it runs smoothly, which is also what you do as an IT professional.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like I'm seeing these three different areas of your life in which you kind of follow the same kind of foundational building.
It's something that's kind of brewed in my head for the last couple months. And that's that.
That took me way too long.
I'm either fixing something or fixing a drink. I'm not to steal a coin of turn from the mob, but I'm a fixer. I
wasn't afraid of you before, but I am now.
So maybe it's a good thing. I get that printed on another shirt. But it's just generally I'm fixing things, and I enjoy it. That's the big piece. I enjoy the social aspect of the brewery part. I never thought I'd be a bartender. I've been thrown into that. That was never on my bingo card. And so I call myself the reserve bartender. If somebody needs off or anything like that. And a big piece I point to when, so I jumped into the role of overseeing people, like that. And that was a big one. You can try and read up all you want on it. It's its own unique thing. And one of my big pieces, and it's something, we were always taught to give the same amount of respect to the janitor as you do the principal and everything else. And there were several janitors that I might have respected more than some of the principals. But the big piece was don't ever ask somebody to do something you wouldn't do yourself. We had, I've cleaned toilets, I've done everything else. And if I'm helping close down, most of the time, if I will, cognitively get there, it's, they're cleaning behind the bar. It's like, hey, I'll go get restrooms. I'm going to try and take out the just crap jobs because, I want my people to be happy and know that I'm not going to try and pawn it off. Or it's like, oh yeah, why don't you guys work while I sit over here and drink this beer and, be that guy.
That's good leadership lessons.
And what I've found is big leadership, constructive ideals of leadership are never these big epiphany things. It's always just the simple stuff. But the simple stuff gets lost a lot of times. It seems, it doesn't have a monetary value up front, but it has so much payment and dividends on the backside. We've had several of our bartenders have been with us since the very beginning or there shortly after. And I always laugh. We hold a deal called Pints and Politics, and I've had different politicians come in. The chamber runs it. It's not, we're renting out our space, but I'm usually there for it. And I've had the, shaking babies, kissing hands moment of, hey, how can we help you with your employment issues and everything else? It's like, well, I don't have one. And they're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, we don't, we're staffed. And usually I can catch somebody into it. I'll say there's a secret to it though. And they go, oh, what's that? I was like, well, you pay people a decent wage and you treat them like human beings. And they tend to stick around as long as they enjoy the work. And all of our bartenders, and it's funny too, you know this as well, you get to learn everybody's personalities and you learn where these people are best suited. And it's not a detriment. It's that's this person's strengths. Let's push them towards that. Let's do this. At the same time, you can, sometimes you get that 10,000 foot view where it's like maybe this just isn't going to work out.
Mm.
But it's just all part of it. And I've just found as long as you try and stay positive and try and be a human, not this, idea of what a boss should be and what, corporate America should be, tends to go out a little better. And it's kind of weird. Try not to be a machine, but.
How did you guys get your name, Dry Lake?
So just north of Great Bend, between Great Bend and Hoisington, there is what's now a dry lake bed. It was a man-made lake for the steam railroad in Hoisington. And after the diesel engine came about, it's like, well, what do we do with this? And it's like, well, we're going to make a country club. And so they built this country club. There was a menagerie with monkeys. There was an old oil derrick they put out there as a diving board. And there's pictures of it. There's a group on Facebook called I Swam in Lake Barton. And to my knowledge, the way I've learned it, and there's probably somebody out there who has more minutia to it and everything, that was the place to be. It was like the who's who belonged to the Lake Barton Club. And eventually it just got too costly and everything else to keep it up, to keep water in it and everything else. We have Cheyenne Bottoms over there as well. So to my knowledge, there was some issue of, well, you're taking water that could be going there. And eventually it just went, well, let's just drain it. And it was a mud hole for a little bit, and then it filled in. And there's just an immense amount of trees. We've got the golf course over there now. And some development was done to put cycling and hike trails through there. And now there's something like 7.5 miles of trails through there. Wow. A group of individuals started up a new nonprofit for it called the Golden Belt Trail Alliance. And so now they're upkeeping everything. Throwing rock out in the parking area and getting all the tools together so we can put together days better to go out and cut trails and keep everything maintained. That offshoot started a mountain bike cycling team in Great Bend. And I know there's a lot of people like, oh, middle of Kansas, yeah, mountain bike. But the funny thing is you get out there, and it's what I always tell people is once you walk through Lake Barton, you kind of get to the spot where you're like, am I in Kansas right now? Like it's such a unique little spot. I would akin it more to being in Colorado or being maybe closer to some of the more Fuller, Flint Hills area. And there's so many people that still don't know about it. And we're always pushing people out there to go out there and take their kids. And the whole deal was we went through so many names trying to figure out what would we want to name ourselves. Because at the point we were homebrewing, I was super original. I went with Fairchild Brewing and then had like a hop beard logo. Kevin was more adventurous, and he had Southtown Brewing. Because there's a whole, you can Google and everything else. There's a whole story about South Hoisington. That's where they were living at the time. And so he had named his Southtown Brewing. I had Fairchild Brewing, and neither of us wanted to, use each other's names. We wanted this new thing. And, we went through so many names. And then finally it was just like, well, what about Dry Lake Brewing? Lake Barton was the place to be. It's now a dry lake. We want to be the place to be now. Why not do it that way? And then we both, enjoy the outdoors and everything. And so it's like, well, awesome. Yeah, we could just stain some wood and put it up on the wall and do these, green and, beer. It goes together pretty well. And it just the theme just kind of flew together. And we kind of started off with some locally named names for our beers. Like we have Cheyenne Bottoms Up as a light lager. I say light, it's medium range lager. We have some lighter stuff now. And then we've got Manon Blonde, which was, it's arguably this existed, and then there's other places that say it doesn't or didn't. To my knowledge, Manon was a train station between Great Bend and Hoisington, and it meant Lady of the Lake. Okay. And so Manon, Blonde, and then we have 5-0 Wheat, which Kyle Bannock, who used to be at Wichita Brewing, he actually named that one for us. We were out having lunch one day talking about the project, and Kevin actually had a fun event happen down in Wichita when they were living there, and they actually lived pretty close to a golf course, pretty nice neighborhood. And he got out his keg that the top was cut out of, and he was brewing a beer, a kit beer. And he's out there and, he's brewing. Next thing you know, a cop pulls up. He's like, what the heck? And the cop comes up and he goes, it's okay. I figured you were either doing a shrimp boil or brewing beer. Somebody called you in. They thought you were making meth. And it's like, well, number one.
5-0.
Yeah.
Like
5-0 wheat. Yeah.
the police.
And so
Okay.
it's the logo made by somebody who's actually going to be new to the Salina area, Yuchin Boswell. She's moving up here. She actually did the can artwork for us.
Oh, cool.
And it's hilarious. It's a old school cop car like going through a wheat field towards a house. And but it was just funny because it was like, not only is like somebody was like, oh yeah, you can just one kettle make some meth, and you're going to do that in an affluent neighborhood. It was like, but like the thought process is like, oh, that guy's just blatantly making meth in his driveway next to the golf carts.
Next to the golf carts.
So that was pretty funny.
I've seen Breaking Bad. I don't think that's how
Yeah,
that
I
works.
think you need a whole RV.
Yeah, you need
but,
a whole RV with a lot of test tubes.
I did not have shaved head at the time either. So, no,
You're talking about staying in the middle of the lake and not
Yeah.
realizing. Our in previous episode, we had a guest that was talking. She was from Kansas tourism.
Yeah.
She was saying that there's so many places in Kansas that are surprising.
Yeah.
That stand out.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I mean, how many people don't know about the different, the mushroom rock and all that,
Yeah.
and all those different formations?
Cheyenne Bottoms is another one.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
never
absolutely.
heard of Cheyenne Bottoms until today.
You're
Yeah,
kidding
it's
me.
like
I've never heard of them.
the largest inland wetlands in the U.S.
An incredibly
Yeah.
important wetland for
Yeah.
birds. Not just in Kansas,
Yeah.
but really to the nation. It's
Yeah.
vitally important.
It's their holdover spot. That's where they can
That's
take a
here in
rest for a
Kansas?
while.
Good
Yeah.
good birders will go there because there's more diversity there than almost anywhere.
Yeah.
Huh.
During the migration, our Airbnbs, our hotels are full of people
Really?
there to watch birds. Yep. My wife makes fun of me because I watch birds in our backyard, and she's like, "You're turning into an old man." I'm like, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a friend that has an app on her phone that she can put out and it'll listen to the bird. It'll listen to
Amazing,
the
isn't it?
chirp. And now my husband does it.
Well, I found out that you can take a picture of a bird or a plant. We've gotten really into our gardening.
We do the plant. I do the plants.
You can just take a picture with your iPhone and then go to hit information,
And
and
it'll
it'll
tell
tell you
you.
what's in the photo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works for all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been really cool. But on that same lines though, with the Kansas tourism stuff, it's people don't realize that everybody's like, well, I got to go out of town for this. I got to go here for this. It's like there's a lot of stuff you don't know in your own backyard.
There's
Man.
stuff in Salina I find
absolutely.
myself discovering all the time.
Yeah.
I've lived here for 30 years.
Oh, and every time we come to Salina, I think I discover something new. Like we just found out, and it's on us. I don't think we ever searched it on Google. We probably would have found it a lot quicker. We found out about the bookstore downtown. That's where my wife's at right now.
Oh, really?
When she found out,
yeah.
because working a day job, having the evening weekend job, and then the other boards and everything I'm on, I don't get to leave town much if it's not for work.
Mhm.
And so when she happens to usually has Thursdays off. And so when she found out like, oh, well, we can go to Salina, oh, while you're in there, I can go to the bookstore. Heck yeah. And that's something,
Priority.
that's
good.
something she's absolutely passed on to our two daughters. And that's a failure of me. I did not introduce myself with saying, I am a dad. My wife and I have an anniversary this weekend, 17 years.
Wow.
Congrats.
Congrats.
And she's put up with me. So I always tell people, like, how's it going? I said, well, wife let me wake up today. And everybody gets to pay for her poor decisions. But I've got two beautiful, healthy, great daughters who luckily get their smarts from their mother. I'm surprised my wife had to try and tutor me in college algebra when we were first dating, and she stuck around afterwards. That always amazes me.
Well, you must have picked up on something.
Yeah, something.
Something. I don't know. It's charisma or something, I guess.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on Ask A Kansan today and sharing your story.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and it was great to learn. I think we have more reasons to go to Great Bend than we had before.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like I'm thinking like that Western Kansas tour that
Yeah.
I'm going to take the kids on now.
Well, and not to be overlooked too, like I am a gearhead. We are the home of the original NHRA Nationals. The very first one was raced out at Great Bend at the SRCA.
Really?
And that track has had some issues. there's going to be comments about it, but it's being rebuilt at this time, and we can't wait to have everybody back out for that. It's such a good time. So there's a lot going on in Great Bend.
Wonderful.
And if anybody needs guidance on it, we have our visitors bureau. Message me personally. I don't care. I'll scream it from the mountaintops for you, and just love your community. I mean, that's the big thing is, we've got a lot of people from every walk of life that are so divided right now. But if we just get back down to the basics of like, we all want to have nice things. We all want to be nice people, and we want to exist,
Yeah.
Let's just make it happen. That's
Agreed.
my biggest piece.
Just do it.
Exactly. Well, that's be somebody. Don't consider yourself a nobody. Just go do it.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
This has been wonderful.
thank you.
Want to spread your organization's message across Kansas? Consider becoming a sponsor. Ask A Kansan has a unique focus on Kansas and its people. By sponsoring our podcast, your organization can reach people from Canarado to Kansas City, Wichita to Washington, and all the great places in between. We have a variety of sponsorship packages available to fit your budget and needs. For more information, visit askakansan.com/sponsorships. Or call us at 785-571-9507. Thanks for joining us on that interview with Ryan.
It's great.
It was good. That man can talk.
He sure can.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know much about the Great Bend area. I've been there a handful of times, but I didn't know about the dry lake bed.
Yeah, I did not know any of that.
So I can no longer drink alcohol, so I don't know that I'll be able to test his wares ever, but
I'll do it for you.
thanks. Sounds good. Yeah, let me know how it is.
We'll have a party.
Yeah. Tell me how the 550
Galaxy. Oh, the 5-0. You're talking about the 5-0 wheat.
Yes. He was telling us after the interview that, he has another beer called
Galaxy 500.
which just strikes me as a great name for a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also has the Winchester.
Mm-hmm.
Which other ones? There's a couple other than now I don't remember.
Yeah. So if you're ever in Great Bend, go check out Dry Lake Brewing. Yeah. Well, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Mine's a good ending.
Okay. Well, that's good. So we have another another segment of Where in the Rectangle. I've actually incorporated the screen a little bit more this time. We'll let Merlin get that going. Okay. So your task, should you choose to accept it?
I don't think I have a choice, do I?
No, you don't. Where in the rectangle is Winfield, Kansas?
Oh. It's in Sedgwick County.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It's a good guess. It's a very close guess, but not
Is
quite
it Butler?
right. It is in Cowley County.
Oh, I thought it's really that far south.
Yeah. So we'll have Merlin hit the button there, and you can see where our sunflower ends up. Yep, Cowley County.
Cowley County. Okay.
So nestled in Cowley County, along the edge of the Flint Hills, Winfield is a picturesque small city of about 12,000, which is actually a little bigger than I didn't realize Winfield was that large. I don't know.
I feel
that
like
I've
I
ever
was
been
just
there.
there for some reason.
Really? Probably baseball or softball. Yeah.
Probably. Who knows?
So it's known for its Victorian homes, tree-lined streets, and vibrant arts scene. It boasts local gyms like College Hill Coffee, Ladybird Brewing, Lavender Farms, and a historic downtown perfect for a cultural stroll. But nationally, it's perhaps best known for one thing. Based on that image, any idea what it's known for?
I'm assuming making guitars because there's the pegboard in the back and it just looks like they're making stuff is what I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're not entirely wrong. So one of these three men, I believe, was a guitar maker. Together in 1972, Stuart Mossman, Bob Redford, and Joe Murrett launched the National Flat Picking Guitar Championships, planting the seed of what became a multi-day acoustic festival called Walnut Valley Bluegrass Festival. And
Walnut Valley?
Yep. Which I
in Winfield?
Yes. There you go. It's a big deal, like a really big deal.
I'm going to Winfield.
So it was originally focused on championing instrumental excellence through contests, but it quickly grew into a community-first event where pickers and fans collaboratively shaped the experience. So go on to the next slide here. So today, this is held the third full weekend of September in the Winfield Fairgrounds. The Walnut Valley Festival is a 5-day extravaganza blending bluegrass, folk, Americana, some Celtic music, old time, jazz, and more, with over 200 hours of music on 4 official stages. The festival includes prestigious contests such as the flat-picking guitar, banjo, mandolin, fiddle, auto harp, hammer, and mountain dulcimers that draws instrumentalists from across the globe. It even earned the International Bluegrass Music Association's Bluegrass Event of the Year in 1999. So if we go back to that first, go back a few images there for me. Yeah, so check that out. There are typically 11,000 to 15,000 people in attendance.
Do they camp?
They do. They camp. And they, they come from other states, other countries, and campsites are not pre-selected. So campers line up well in advance of the festival to claim a choice campsite during land rush.
So you just pick a spot and go.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, there's very limited power. And so it's kind of rough camping.
Interesting.
And you notice the river down in the bottom of that picture. They've had some flooding issues even this year, I think. But it's quite an event. So one of the most beloved and legendary parts of the festival happens before the festival officially begins. And this is when, like I said, those diehards start lining up a full week early just to claim their favorite spot. So they come with RVs, they come with tents, handmade shade structures, and most importantly, instruments. They arrive and transform the fairground parking lot into a temporary village of jam circles, where pickers of all skill levels join together under the stars to play everything from bluegrass standards to original tunes and unexpected covers. If you're not familiar with jamming, jamming is kind of what it sounds like. It's an informal improvisational gathering of musicians. There's no auditions, there's no tickets, there's no egos. It's just strings, harmony, and rhythm. At Winfield, everyone is welcome. Whether you're a seasoned mandolinist or a beginner on the ukulele, there's always room in the circle for one more. And a lot of times, like in this image, you can tell there's
obviously not room because that guy is all the way in the back there. And the bass player is going at it.
Yeah, he's got quite a look on his face. I was at a bluegrass festival out in Colby, and I think I might recognize that guy in that picture. But they often double up instruments in these jamming circles. There's 5 guitars in this picture we're looking at. And so it's just really fun. So not only are there 4 professional level stages, there's also, and I'm not actually sure how many, but there's campground stages, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the Fine Time stage and stage 11, and they'll operate well into the night. And so it's just a really unique thing.
Wild.
People that are into this scene are religious about it. I have a few friends. Shout out to Ryan McClintock and Randy and Julie Rowe. I know this is a big thing for them, and they always try to make it down. Ryan, this is a very deep experience for him. He does not miss it. The festival has actually helped launch or elevate the careers of several well-known musicians. On the right here is Split Lip Rayfield. They're a high-energy thrash grass group from Wichita. And they're associated with Stage 5. And then there's also Brian Bowers, who's an auto harp champion. He's the one holding the interesting-looking instrument. Dan Carey, who's a pioneer of modern flat-picking guitar. And Beppe Gambetta, who's an Italian flat picker who earned international recognition through his performances at Winfield's Guitar Championships.
Yeah.
And there's a huge list of others that have cut their teeth there, and unbelievable list of people that have played there. So it is coming up once again this year in September 17th through 21st, and it will coincide with the third weekend of the month. You can visit wvfest.com to learn more. So just a little bit more about Winfield before we're done with the segment. A few things that you can do there. There's a historic architecture tour where you can explore Victorian era homes. And there's also a nice museum that I guess crayons were once manufactured in Winfield, which is kind of interesting. There's a great farmer's market. There are lavender and honeybee farm. And I'm really interested in the Ladybird Brewing and College Hill Coffee. Sounds like some great local places.
Cool.
So that is today's segment of We're in the Rectangle.
Sweet.
What do you got?
I was scrolling as I do, and I found this guy who lives in Kansas City. He's from Kenya.
From Kenya.
Yeah. So I think he's from Kenya. I did some snooping. I'm pretty sure that's where he's from. But I'm going to play this video and then we'll talk about it after. It's
I'm
2 minutes, so you're
excited.
going to have to bear with me. But it's a
Happily.
good 2 minutes.
So I made it to central Kansas, western central Kansas. I'm outside of Colby. And, people tend to talk bad about Kansas. They keep saying about how Kansas is really flat and boring. But I'm willing to argue that Kansas is one of the states that's actually being slept on. Meaning it does have a lot of touristic opportunity, but it does have a negative perception about just being flat and boring and just farmland. But this farmland is actually, I don't know, I think the aesthetic is actually pretty good. Over here we got corn farm, and on this side is wheat, and that's why they used to call it Kansas a wheat state. I think they still call it these days too, but I think they would grow more corn now. Now another thing is that on that side, there's actually oil being drilled here in Kansas. A lot of people don't know that. But a long time ago, Kansas used to be an ocean. I mean, pretty much all of Kansas used to be underneath the sea, and the dinosaurs used to roam here. And when the dinosaurs died, and when they decomposed and got compressed, the dinosaurs and all the funds of the algae plants, they pretty much formed what we know now as oil, and that's why it's being mined out here in western Kansas. So yeah, I would urge all of y'all to visit Kansas and just stop relying on the perceptions of people online who have never even set foot in Kansas.
He made me cry at the beginning of that. That's really good.
So my first reaction to seeing his video, because I had to dig for that one. It was a different one that got me interested in him, because he was going from Kansas City to Colorado.
Mhm.
And he's a videographer and out of Kansas City. And he doesn't have a lot of videos posted on his TikTok. So he must be relatively new. But the video that I stumbled upon was the difference in the roads between Colorado and Kansas. And
It's
he's like,
terrible.
yeah,
Colorado.
all you taxpayers that are complaining, look what this
Yeah.
gets you. And but also when he first started talking, I was like, is this Forrest Gump?
He has a very unique accent.
Very unique accent.
Yeah.
And then I started scrolling through more of his videos and watching them, and I came across that one. I was like, dang,
Yeah.
that is perfect.
Yeah.
That is what it's about.
I'd be interested to talk with him sometime.
Yeah.
He seems like he's perceptive and knows his Kansas stuff. And
Hmm. So he lives in Kansas City from what I can tell. But his handle, I gotta remember it because I'm
it was on
terrible.
the video. I don't remember. What
Yeah,
it said.
it's KK_Leon_
Cool.
is what it is. So yeah. I
feel like
had
the
to share
theme
that.
of this episode and the last one is like allowing ourselves to be surprised by our fellow Kansans,
Mhm.
and that was a terrific surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Loved
great.
it.
Well, thanks for finding it.
Yeah.
Well, we find ourselves at the end of another episode of Ask A Kansan. Thanks for tuning in again. As you hopefully already know by now, you can support this podcast by subscribing, by hitting like, adding your comments, giving us your feedback. That would be helpful. Or just telling somebody about the podcast. That would be tremendously helpful to us.
And if you are a business that want to reach Kansans, reach out to us. We are looking for sponsors, and we just love to hear from you guys. So feel free, comment. You can email us at info@feelycreative.com. That's info@FILIcreative.com.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.